everybody, welcome to another segment with Dave and myself. And today we're going to show you a bunch of different things. But we're going to start off with how to absorb your B vitamins. Okay, I've often said to many of you that your B vitamins are done here in this region. You are all compromised here because of genetics. You're all eating genetics, even you organically, orgasmically, wonderful, crazy, out of space, universal, conscious, whatever, alien abducted people. Because you think you're eating something great and wonderful, but you're not. It's all cross-contaminated, and now they're spraying nano silver on the food supply, including the organics. So all of you who think you're getting some wonderful and delightful, super-duper, pooper food, you've been mistaken. Now, what nano silver does is nano silver will disrupt the bacterial load down here. But also nano silver penetrates all the organs, all the tissues, it perforates the blood-brain barrier. So these metals will accumulate in the brain, will accumulate in the organs, in the heart, lungs, tissues, everywhere. If you're going to use a silver, use a colloidal silver, not nano. You're going to say, well, the particulates are too big and all this stuff. That's okay. My body can get rid of that. Okay. Now silver will disrupt down here. Also, the organics and the food supply as a whole have been genetically altered. So what's happening is the genetics of these foods are disrupting this whole area, reconstituting your bacteria into some other genetic anomaly. This goes on in nature. You plant a GMO crop in the ground, the bacterial levels in the soil change. They become something else. That's why so many of you are having problems with the Morgellons. Some of you are having so many problems with the arthritic issues, digestive issues, restless leg issues, fibromyalgia issues. These are all tied to the same thing right here. You're having leaky gut, you're having IBS, you're having Crohn's, you're having because you are corrupted here. You're being corrupted. When you're eating genetics, and a lot of you are saying, well, I'm eating organic, and this is your argument, but you're having the same health issues that people who are not eating organics. In fact, you're having more. So again, because of the nature of some of your diets and the way you're eating. And a lot of these gurus are telling you to eat this and eat this. I'm telling you, be an omnivore. Omnivore, eat everything. Don't just limit yourself to this style of eating. These things are nothing but political statements or politically incorrect things to be doing. Your body is a biochemical laboratory. It needs all kinds of things to make it function. So don't get caught up of, I'm going to be a vegan, which is insanity in my mind. Vegetarianism. Vegetarianism is okay, provided you're eating at least eggs, yogurt, some sort of cheese. If you're having that, you don't want to eat red meat, that's fine. Or if you're a vegetarian and you're eating white meats, that's fine on a limited basis. But do not abstain, because you need a full complement of foods in order to maintain health. And anyone's going to tell you to eat this style or that style, it's not about what you're eating. It really isn't. It's about how your food is being planted, and how your food is being polluted, and how your food is being altered. So when you're looking at that theme, when you're buying something, you should be saying, you should see the label GMO on it, non-GMO, or non-genetically engineered, which is just as bad. People think that when we're talking genetically engineered, we're genetically engineering the seed to put it into the ground. No, genetically engineering also refers to the fact that I take a food and I alter it in the manufacturing process, using different things to alter it as well, adding components that shouldn't be there, like titanium dioxide, nano silver, copper oxide, polymers. These are being added to the food supply. So again, when you're looking at this, this is how you need to understand what you're eating. If it's a box, bag, or can, leave it alone. There are a few exceptions, but for the most part, leave it alone. So
if it says non-GMO, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not geoengineered. Is what you're saying?
Okay, let's pretend this says non-GMO bananas.
Right.
Okay. What they're implying there is they've added a non-GMO banana to that product. But it doesn't mean that the product doesn't have any genetically modified organisms or hasn't been genetically engineered. You'll see this in a lot of soy products, non-GMO soy. But what they're doing there is they're misleading the private sector or the customers, because you think, well, I'm getting a non-genetically modified soy, but it's not true. What they've done is they've added a non-GMO soy to a genetically modified food, or to another genetically modified soy. If you do the research on it, and you can find this anywhere, a lot of times they take GMO soy and mix it with non-GMO soy to produce something, so then they can label on the bottle that they've added non-GMO soy to it, which they're accurate in what they're saying. They've added a non-GMO soy to it, but you're still getting genetics in the food. Okay, so this is the misdirect that you're getting. And a lot of you think, well, I'm getting good food. I'm getting, dun-da-da, orgasmically organic. I can see the universe. Oh. A lot of it is all baloney, horse hockey. Unless you're growing it yourself or making the food yourself, buying the raw materials and putting it together yourself, you do not know really what you're eating anymore, especially in Canada and the United States. The Europeans, they have a little bit more testosterone than them, and they still have their testicular fortitude. They have told BASF and Monsanto to leave. But now this is what's happened globally, so that you're aware of what's going on. That in the U.S., they are trying to pass legislation to promote throughout the planet to not have any genetically modified organism labeling whatsoever. Nowhere. Japan has it in their labels. Asia has it in their labels. I've seen it down in New Zealand. They add non-GMO labeling. Now, they want to ban that so that nowhere in the world where you would go, you would know what you're eating. Okay, well, you got to keep you stupid, right? You got to keep your I hear and obey, I hear and obey. Because that's what they got a lot of you doing. And a lot of you are watching these health food ads. And again, a lot of it's just a lot of misdirect. What you should be reading, what you should be interpreting properly is it fungicide free? Is it chemical free? Pesticide free? Insecticide free? That's what you should be looking at for even chemical pesticides that are in the foods. Now you can't get away from it all, and it's impossible because there's other reports where in Africa where they're not spraying anything, and people are eating the foods because, quote unquote, it's orgasmically organic, and they're filled with parasites. So there is a balance there. So you have to learn how to negate the toxics, whatever they may be, whether they be parasitical in nature or whether they be chemical in nature. So use your head on that. Don't get caught up on the bull roar of what's going on. All right, we got here some kefir. Good old-fashioned Polish kefir. This is good stuff. This will put hair and just make a man out of you. This stuff will. All right, give it a shake. And for a lot of you who are compromised in the colon, kefir really is a good way to go because now you're adding bacteria in the system. Plus, this stuff will renew over 360 enzyme activities in your body. Regenerates enzymes. So again, use it. Don't be what's a dairy product? Big deal. So what? It's a fermented dairy product. That's the difference. The only dairy products you should be consuming are unpasteurized milk. Unpasteurized milk. You know, you get it from a cow or a goat, you give it a tug, good milk. That's what you get. That's the milk you should be drinking, okay? Not this stuff where you give it a tug, you put it over here, you cook the blazes out of it, then I add white paint to it, and this chemical to it, and then I sell it to you as milk. That is no longer milk. What came out of the cow, the goat, the sheep, that's milk, okay? That's what you need, not this stuff. Now, this has been pasteurized for sure, but it's also been fermented. So the culture will be alive. This is what you give your children. Babies that need milk, okay, kids that need milk, that's the milk you give them. You know, milk does the body good. Fermented milk does the body good. Unpasteurized milk does the body good. That's what they forgot to put in the little caption there. You know, they said milk does the body good. They forgot to put in there unpasteurized milk does the body good, or fermented dairy does the body good. The what do they call those? Oh, I can't think of them. They were 300-pound soldiers around China.
Not the sumos.
No,
you're
Huns,
saying
the Huns.
Oh, okay.
The Huns. These guys were 300-pound guys, and guess what they drank? They ate grass? No. Were they vegetarian? No. They ate meat, and they drank kefir. That's why they could walk 100 miles a day and wipe out armies. They had one of the most potent armies on the planet. The only people that stopped these people were the people from the Middle East. Did you know that? Because they fought just like they did, and they had milk and meat products. That's what kept them strong. Not grass. They didn't chew on the grass. And besides that, if you're eating cows and sheep, you're a vegetarian. Because indirectly you're getting your greens from your meat. They eat grass, you eat the cow, you're eating the grass. I mean, that's how I see it anyway. Okay. A lot like on that one. You're not a vegetarian, you're a brutal bastard eating meat. Yes, and if you don't want to eat your meat, I'll eat it for you. I have no problem with that either. You want to go and chew on some grass, go ahead. Knock yourself out. And the other thing a lot of you will get into too, which is really insanity, you'll say, well, you know how they're treating the livestock? And then I say to you, do you know where all that shit is going from all these cows and sheep that they're feeding GMOs? It's going in your fields. Do you think these farmers are just burning that shit in the field? No, they're putting it back in. You're getting full blast. Those of you who are quote-unquote vegan, full blast of nanoparticles from the sky, because they're getting aluminum, barium, titanium dioxide, cadmium, okay, manganese, nano silver, nano aluminum, radioactive material, and then we're putting GMO in the field. Oh, and you're going to tell me your food is safer. I'll take my chances with the cow. At least the cow or the sheep can break down a lot of those components. The only thing you shouldn't be eating out of those animals, and I don't agree with a lot of these other guys, you shouldn't be eating any of the organ meats, because the organ meats is what filters out all the poisons. So leave that alone. Okay, we're going to take some kefir here. Ah. Look at that. Now, best way to do it, okay, this is B12. 5,000 micrograms. That sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Ooh, 5,000 micrograms. All that is 5 milligrams. 5 milligrams. And I'm going to even show you the size of the pill. Ooh, there you go. That's what all your B vitamins should look like when they're giving you these strengths, 100 milligram, whatever, because they're not that much bigger. Now, this is basically enclosed in sugar. Now, for those of you who have a B12 deficiency, this is what you should be doing. I'm going to take 3 of these, or 4. 4. Okay. I'm going to pestle this down. Now, put it in a jar. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to add, whoop, I'm going to shake this up a little bit more. Watch what a heck of a mess here. Okay. And some of you are going to tell me, well, it's got a USDA label. Look at USDA dating back 1907. They have been undermining the safety of the food supply in the United States and throughout the world since 1907. They've undermined every activity or everything that had to do with food safety since then. So when you tell me you believe in the USDA, you're misinformed severely. And the other thing too is, a lot of you will say to me on one hand that you don't trust the government, and yet you trust these government agencies. That I don't know how you guys do that, but anyhow.
There was an interesting story in the news that I heard actually 2 days ago about a government, well, the government relied on this person's scientific studies and material, and it was uncovered now. So when you think of someone who works or who gives information to the government recommendation stuff, they should have some sort of doctorate in chemical, biology, something to do with environmental sciences, whatever. This guy had a bachelor or a doctorate of education.
Okay.
This is this guy's credentials, and this guy was providing scientific data and recommendations to the government. That's what the government was using to make
their judgments
on what sort of programs to go with.
I don't have a problem with that either. On one condition, you could be any of you who are watching these videos can give an expert opinion. You can, any of you. Doesn't matter what degrees you have. But your expert opinion has to be based on sound scientific evidence. Okay? You may not be a doctorate of this or doctorate of that, because I've seen a lot of so-called experts in the health industry or in the health field. You do not know their backside from a hole in the ground. Okay? And I'm being very polite on that one. Okay? Because a lot of them don't. I've had doctors contact me from all over the place, asking me for suggestions and advice on certain things because they don't know. And again, these guys are trying to do something, so I have no problem with that. It's the ones that are telling you that these things don't work or are negating anything who don't have a clue. These guys are the ones that have a problem with because they're dumb. They're really stupid, and all they're trying to do is, again, poison you with drugs that have over 30 side effects per drug. You know, you go like any drug thing, and if you look at the drug you got, and there's all the side effects, and then they minimize the side effects until you actually buy this stuff, and they see a list this long of stuff that just cause so one of the side effects, death. You know, it can kill you. So anyway, yeah, I don't have a problem with that so much as, again, I don't trust the government anyway. Because they're going to only use whatever they want to use to subjugate you to whatever they want you to think. And they're not going to give you full disclosure anyway, because a lot of these studies that they're putting out, they take one little smidgen of a study and sell you that. But then when you look at that study and see how that was done to get that process, that's where it becomes fun. All right, we're going to take the kefir. I'm just going to pour it in. Hey, I did that pretty good. Like I knew what I was doing. Wait a second, I gotta get this. I don't want to waste it. Oh man. That'll put hair and just make a man out of you, I'll tell you. And I know you women want this. This is every woman's desire to have a hairy chest. I can understand that. Winter is coming. You got the pillows. Now you'll have the fur.
Oh, jeez.
I'm probably gonna get some reaction on that one. What do you mean? All right. What I'm doing is just stirring it up. And I'm gonna cheat here. You got my stick?
Your magic chopstick.
My chopstick. I forgot where the hell I put it. I have it somewhere. Anyway, okay, won't matter. All right, mix it up. All right, mix it up really well. And then what you do to get the benefit of this, okay, is let it sit out overnight on a counter. Do not refrigerate it. Some of you, I can already hear it now. They're already screaming, "What? Isn't it going to be bad? Isn't it going to spoil?" What is yogurt? What is kefir? What is cottage cheese? What is spoiled milk? So you're not going to die. Okay? Seriously, you will not die. You know, unless there's something over the end that's poisonous, but you won't die, honestly. You know, this is spoiled milk is what it is. Okay, fermented milk is spoiled milk. We just control the spoilage by adding bacteria to it. Now, once that's done, the next day when you get up first thing in the morning, drink your solution. Now this can any B vitamin, this will work. B1, B5, any of them. If you get a brand of a coenzyme B, which is basically they've broken it already down one step, you can do the same thing. You can add it to it. Same thing. I had a guy in Arizona that was saying he was tired all the time, no energy. So I told him to do this, and he thought I was crazy. You know, he didn't say it to me at the time I was crazy, but 2 days later he called me back and said, "You know, when I heard you tell me this, I thought you were crazy." He said, "But I did it," and he said, "I can't believe how good I feel." Because what I'm doing here is allowing the ferment to absorb and break down and manufacture that B vitamins in the position it's supposed to be in. When it gets down here, it'll get past the stomach, first pass. It'll get the enzymes in there to, again, activate everything. And when you get down here, where a lot of you are compromised because you're eating soy and grains and everything, they keep telling you no soy, no grains, I keep getting these arguments. Well, so-and-so over there is eating so-and-so and so-and-so. They're all dying, just like you are. So this will be broken down and be absorbed more effectively, and you will start seeing results in a very short period of time for a lot of you. Somebody's saying, well, what if I have a dairy intolerance? You probably don't have a dairy intolerance. What a lot of you have, and I've found this myself with a lot of people, I've given them unpasteurized milk, no problem. I've given them the pasteurized stuff, that's when a lot of them react, because again, we stripped everything out. There's no enzyme, there's no vitamin C, there's no fat, there's none of this, no that. So when they use this, they find they can take it. Now, if you got a plastered colon and it's loaded with crap, you got to strip that out. And the best thing I've ever seen to do that was sodium thiosulfate. That has been the best thing I've ever seen work on metals, detoxifying, on everything. But anyway, use this and you will see a big difference on it. Let's see here where I got it. Now, Dave is going to film you the recipe so you can see what it is. That'll be top one. So I know a lot of you will say, well, how does that work? What's the recipe? Okay. Now, okay, take a B vitamin. You can take full B vitamin if you want. Use the capsule. And again, another thing before I go on. Any of you are buying capsules, the gelatinous capsules, Do not swallow those. If you got any kind of fats, any kind of liquids in them, and they're like a jelly type thing, do not swallow them. They do not break down. They have polymers in them, and you will not absorb them. Matter of fact, you poop them out somewhere along the way. Okay, so open up your capsule. Any bee vitamin or straight bees if you want. Add it to yogurt or kefir. Let it sit overnight. Next day, swallow it down. Make sure the yogurt is not fat-free. Make sure the yogurt has fat in it. It doesn't say sugar-free, fat-free, or fruit. Do not add those things to it. You can add your own fruit to it if you wish, but do not buy it that way. Okay? Make sure you add your own. Do not buy it. If it says fat-free, sugar-free, or filled with any fruit, leave it alone. Okay? Again, some of the things you're going to probably see is your brain will come back, especially with the B12. You want to add folic acid to it, put the folic acid. So a lot of you are suffering from dementia issues. B12 and folic acid is the big two things that a lot of you are suffering from, and that is because you're not converting it in the gut. So try it, see what happens. All right. To the next vid, to your health.